Hello, FlossTube Stitchers. Shelley here at Just Stitching Inc. in Strongsville, Ohio. And today I'm filming in front of our valley framing area because it was already decorated and I didn't have to change anything. Plus, I don't think I've been in front of the frames for a while, so I thought this would be a good place to film during a busy week. I haven't been here for a couple weeks because my mother has been in the hospital. And it's been an emotional roller coaster, and it's also been very time consuming. So my dad doesn't drive, but even if he did, we probably would still be going to the hospital every day to visit and check up with the nursing staff and et cetera, et cetera. But I've had very little free time, and when I did have it, I either wasn't in the mood, which you can certainly understand, or I felt like there were other things that needed my attention. So I know I promised you new charts because I ran out of time last time, but I'm not sure how many I'm going to show you. It depends on how long the rest of the video takes. I might skip all the Halloween ones. Oh no, we love Halloween. But I might skip some and save it for next week. So I called this one November News. I keep a list of my FlossTube titles so that I don't duplicate anything. And since I called it news, I'm going to actually start with some news. Now, I've already tried this a couple times and I can't remember how I thought I was, okay, maybe if I hold it just like that. Okay, so I'm going to start with the Atomic Ranch Fabrics Neutral Fabric of the Month Club that they started for shop owners. These are the 6 colors that they already produced that are going to be on the automatic. The other 6 are ones that have not been released before and will be a surprise to us this year and will not be available to the general public until the following year. So this is the 2023 Fabric of the Month Club. And I've gotten very good response from my social media posts. And I guess the specifics that you need are what fabric I'm getting. So we have another 10 days or so to get our totals in. And then if we want to change something after that, it's going to take 2 months to make the change. So I'm trying to be smart about what I order. And so far, I am signed up for yardage in 14 and 16 AIDA, 28 and 32 LUGANA, which are the only 2 counts they're dyeing. Somebody's already asked for 25, but they're not dyeing that. And 30, did I say 28? Now I forget. I think I'm getting 28, 32, and 36 linen. Yeah, I think I skipped 40 and higher, only because I don't sell as much of that, but if people ask for it, I still have time to change it, or I could change it partway in to the monthly program. So I'm going to sell it in various sizes. I think the 1/4 yard is going to be the most popular. I think it's the most versatile of all the cuts. I'm not doing 18 AIDA because I don't sell as much of that as well, but if I get enough interest, I can also change that. So I'm planning to offer a 1/4 yard, of course, or I could cut it in half and do 8s. I would also love to I'm already ordering. I would like to offer a 1/6 of a yard, which I think is also a cool size that nobody ever offers. And in the hand dyed, instead of 18 by 18, it's going to be more like a 17-inch square. So I have it drawn out for how much I need if this many people want this many cuts, because obviously I can't do 4 quarters and an 18 by 18 at the same time unless I had more yardage. And there might be fabric left over for anyone who wants a custom cut. And if I do cut it kind of strange in some of the fabric styles, there might be some, maybe not 9, but 8.5-inch squares left over, which would be really great for small projects or ornaments or something like that. So this is new to me, and we'll see how it goes. But if you're interested, you can please email me and I can write down all the details if you forget what I said or if I forgot something. I do have a cheat sheet here, but I may have forgotten something. I know what I mean to say, and I know all the questions people have already asked me, but maybe you'll have something different. So that's my news. That's going to start in January. All right, next I'm going to show you some new shop models on loan because I would like to take them off the counter and make more room for the other things. So this is Halloween Sampler by Cottage Garden Samplings, and I'm trying, I know there's glass on it, and I'll try to take a better picture for social media using my black foam core as a foil so you can't see what's reflected in the glass. But anyway, hopefully you can get a good enough look. So there's also a Halloween Sampler 2 with different words for the alphabet, and the designer also has Christmas Sampler and Christmas Sampler 2. This was stitched by Kate Fulton in 2020, I think it says down there. Looks like she used 30 count Weeks Dye Works linen and 2 strands of floss. And the second one is an Amy Brecken Sal from a couple years ago called 365 Warm and Woolly Welcomes. This also has glass on it, so I'm going to try to show it at an angle so I don't get the white paper on the counter or the lights in it. This was stitched by Sharon Durkansky. The designer had originally called for 20 count linen, but I hardly ever sell the 20. Most of my customers either want 14 AIDA or they want the 30 count equivalent of the color. So this is Morris Blue. And she doesn't recommend going higher than 30 count or the embellishments look a little crowded. Anyway, this is something that you can leave out all year, or you could do each month individually like some of my customers do. So anyway, that's really cute. We're excited to have that on loan for a while. Then we have 2 new fabrics. One is a Perman linen, and it's called Oyster, and I got it in 28 count. And I know the neutrals are sometimes really hard to tell on camera, but this matches DMC 613 or 3033. It's kind of in the midst of both of those. I know not everybody likes the stiffer linen, but they do have some really pretty colors that are different from other people, so I do like to have a nice variety. And the next is a Zweigart, and I didn't realize at first that it was ombre because one distributor just called it terracotta and the other one called it ombre, and I thought, what? So I looked further into it. It was actually after I had received it, and I thought that it looked a little faded. So I was going to open it up and make sure everything was okay before I kept it, and then I read the description and it said ombre. So it's very subtle. If you were to get a big piece, you might notice it. Like if you would get 1/4 yard and stitch a large design on it, it might be noticeable. But if I just cut individual pieces off of it, it probably won't look like an ombre effect to you. But anyway, this is 36 count, and I thought it was unusual because unless you go to overdyed, there maybe aren't quite as many 36 counts available. And this matches DMC 21 and 356, depending on where in the ombre portion of it you're looking. So anyway, I just like to keep you updated with the fabric too. Okay, then we have a new company, new to me. I think they did their first market, their first wholesale market in Nashville in March, which of course I wasn't at because of my broken elbow. So I didn't discover them until later, but I just got my first order from Thread Milk Design, and I took these rings out of the plastic bag so I could show you a little bit more designs than what shows when they're just in the plastic bag. So this is their regular pack, and it retails for $15, and it comes with a heart charm, and then all of them have the Thread Milk logo as a charm. So this is a floss organization system. These are milk caps, so they look very vintagey for those who like that style. And there's 2 holes, one to go on the ring and one to put your floss on. And then if you really like this system, you can buy, for $25, you can buy a pack of 50. And I believe the bulk packs are only of the regular, not the holiday. So the rest of these are going to be holiday. Let's start earlier in the year and show you some Eastery designs. And the charms are a carrot and a bunny. So there's 2 packs for Easter, 2 different packs. All right, and then there's 2 packs of patriotic, and this has a flag and a star. Well, you know, nothing wants to cooperate on camera, including my hair. Anyway, they're really cute. And then there's 2 packs of Halloween, and this has a bronze witch and a black cat. Fumble, fumble, fumble. So you can also look at the pictures on her website. Maybe she doesn't show every single one, but maybe she shows them spread out a little bit better than I can do it. Gravity is coming into play here. And then so far she only has one Christmas one. And it has a tree and a bell. All right, so in case, because this is my 3rd time through, I took them out of the plastic bags because they weren't behaving. In case I forgot to say the prices, the original set is $15, the bulk set is $25, and all the holidays are $20. Then she also has, this is actually really what prompted me to place the order, because I saw her designs on Instagram, and I had not associated her name with Thread Milk, I don't think, before that, until I looked into it. So she has what's called the Statehood Splendor series. This is Ohio. So I'm still deciding on the color I'm going to use. I have all my reds out, and I have to look in the daylight and put them on various neutral fabrics to see which one I want to do. But I'm going to do Ohio. And now I'll show you the other 49. No, just kidding. I'm just showing you Ohio. Go to her website, Thread Milk Design, if you want to see your state. I have all of them. I'm just not going to show them to you. Then she has a series called For the Bowl. Now pay close attention to these names and jot down the one that you think you want, because that will be the you know at the end of the video. Don't want to say the magic word. Although I don't have a lot of spam in my comments, but you never know. So these all retail for $15, and they're so cute. This is Bunny Bungalow. And again, I should have taken these out of the plastic bag. I apologize. I did show a collage on social media. You can go look that up under Just Stitching Inc. on Facebook or Instagram if you want to see better pictures. I used the designer's website photos for my collage. This is Liberty Lodge. This is Halloween. Turkey Tavern. And Cozy Christmas Cottage. So in your comments, just say which one you think you'd like to stitch. Okay, that's that. And speaking of winning something, the Words of Hope from last time chose, I almost said the wrong name, Jan D'Amico. I have her information right on the back here, but I almost said the wrong Jan D'Amico. So thank you for your stories. I'm glad that most of them had happy endings and that people have been cancer-free for a long time. So anyway, Jan, I already have your address, so I'll get that out to you this week. All right, now for my personal stitching, my whips are, surprise, surprise, because you know how much I love Thanksgiving, from Turkey Tavern. I'm doing Be Ye Grateful. And I could have, let's see, wait, I gotta get my whiteboard. Actually, it's not my whiteboard. I get it from underneath the framing counter because it's very helpful. We have a gray countertop, so it's very helpful to put the whiteboard under people's stitching so they see what it really would look like once it's stretched. So I kind of borrow that each time I do a FlossTube. So I had 4 fabrics that I was auditioning. They were all really long, weird scraps that I probably thought were too small even for my remnant packs. And I really was leaning towards some green, some olivey green, some overdyes. I didn't want to do neutral because that's too boring and I have a lot already on neutral. I wanted to just, you know, pick a fun color since this is stitched in one color. And this is copper metallic 32 count Belfast from Zweigart. It's not an overdyed, it's just one of their specialty fibers. And that's how much I got done in one sitting. And at first I thought, I don't know, it's a prim design. Maybe I shouldn't use metallic. Like, maybe that doesn't make sense. And to quote my friend Bonnie M., who cares? Who cares? Do what you want. Nobody cares. It's nobody's business. Hi, Bonnie. So I'm liking it so far. And I was just going to use, just a DMC brown. But honestly, this was quicker. It's Weeks Dye Works Tatanka because I already had it in my stitch bag for another project. You can't even tell it's overdyed. It just was handy. So I'm using that. So that's going to be fun. I'll probably just need one more evening and I can finish that. Okay, let's put that over there. My next whip was from Just Stitch Mania, which was my name for it. 2019, I believe, because in 2020 I started doing sales in May instead of Mania because I needed to stay in business instead of just starting new projects every day. So I just had a hankering to get some of those out of the way, out of my pile. So this is Halloween Ride by the Floss Box. And when I did it for Mania, I think I only had part of the witch done and maybe the moon and the broomstick, but nothing else. So I did everything else last week I think it was. So I added the green, I added the pumpkins, I added the white. So anyway, this is fun. I'm doing this on 32 count Belfast Vintage Stormy Night, which is one of my favorite colors. Vintage Country Mocha and Stormy Night are like they're right up there at the top of the list because everything looks good on them. And they make a really good substitute for all of the overdyes that are hard to get right now. So anyway, I've done a lot on Vintage Stormy Night in all counts. So I'm having fun with that. I am going to finish that before I put it away because that's my intention, is to get some of these things out of my to finish pile. So the next one was also from the same Mania, Halloween Ornaments by Barbara Anna, and I did this guy. And if you can't tell, this is a computer generated picture. If you go to Creative Poppy's website and find this design, you'll see that they show a stitched version, but at the time I bought this, I don't think I saw that. So anyway, I was just trying to match the green color that the pattern maker chose. It's not actually a fabric color, but I tried to match it. So this is 28 count Smoky Pearl. And I liked the way that looked. It's kind of a grayish green, so I thought that was appropriate. And there's no green in the picture, so nothing was going to clash with it. And I don't think, did I change any of the colors? Oh, I maybe changed one color because it was too close to something else, or the color in person clashed with something else. I think I might have changed one color. But anyway, I really enjoyed using the DMC color variations. So for those of you that don't have a lot of hand-dyed fibers and think they're really expensive and you're trying to limit how much you add to your collection, the color variations is a really good way to do that. You get more yardage and it's less expensive. The other thing I like about it is that your stitching does not look as stripy. The color change is more subtle. So I like that. And she's done. I say she because look at the eyelashes. And I love that little fat spider. Alrighty, and then this was, I don't remember when I started this. I didn't look it up, but this is by Little House Needleworks. It's from the Early American series. And I remember saying that I really liked all of them, but the one without the people was what spoke to me first. So I just finished this. And then I also finished Halloween Kisses by Primrose Cottage Stitches. And I completely took out all of the bogus purple that I had tried, and I went with the original color that the designer called for. And I like the way that looks. This was ironed, but it ended up in the bottom of my stitch bag, and I got a little wrinkle in it. All right, and then my next finish is Winter Postcard from Summer House Stitchworks, and I did the deer. There's also a snowflake there. So this is where the Tatanka came from. So I finished that, and I love it. When I was stitching this border down here, I assumed it was even. I did discover, luckily I had started, I forget where I started. Anyway, whichever side I started on was the part that was matched the rest of the design. But when I got to one end of it, the designer had left out a row to make it a certain stitch count, I guess, so that the rest of it would fit. But I'm sorry, that's too big of an area. I couldn't have the design not match. Have you met me? So I thought, well, I'll just fudge the rest. So all I had to do was leave an extra space between the deer. Then I did those little motifs, and then I worked up here and did the border and just added an extra stitch in the middle. Uh-oh. What to do with that motif, because that's centered. And I thought, well, I could move it one apart and leave off that stitch, but what was I going to do with that? And you know what I decided to do? Has anyone ever done this? Is this a thing? I centered it using the wrong linen threads. Do you know what I mean? Instead of starting by the linen thread that's on top, I started it. Instead of starting here, I started here. Is that making any sense? Anyway, I centered it, and I don't even care because from a distance you cannot tell that those stitches are not done over a vertical thread on top. And I love it, and I fudged it successfully. All right, it's now a thing. I have no idea how long this video is because I have stopped and started so many times. So what I'm going to do is show you the automatics. And then if I have time, I'll add another video at the end with the rest of them, but I'll have to edit it first to see how long it is. Okay. So I have them all organized, alphabetical order by designer. So the first is from Amy Brecken Design. It's her Baddie series, and these are the last 3 in the series. It was only a 7-part series because the first one was, oh, I don't have the whole picture. The first one was the whole center, and then there's 3 characters on the top and bottom. And then everybody in the auto, all the customers in the auto got this little free pattern along with it. So here's number 5. Number 6, and number 7. They kind of don't make much sense without the whole picture. I suppose you could do them individually, but she doesn't give you the thread list with these individual ones. But if you did the whole thing for yourself, you could always do the little characters as ornaments or as gifts. So they still could be done individually. You just can't do it by only buying the one pattern. Then Heartstring Samplery has Love and Joy, $10. Ye Olde Noel, which is an adaptation of an antique sampler. And then Winter Comes. This one's 20 because it has 2 designs. I'll put it up close. 2 designs in there. I love both of them. But of course, yeah, the deer. Heart and Hand Needle Art had a Christmas Doodles. This is 13, includes the charms and beads and whatever you need to do that. The Just Cross Stitch magazine came, and I just wanted to show you, there's a lot of really cute Christmas ornaments in this one. And I have a lot of people say, oh, I only found 1 or 2 things in the magazine, so I'm not gonna buy it. And I'm like, it's $7, and any of these designs separately would be at least $6. So even if you only find a couple, it's still worth it. But I know everybody loves stitching Christmas ornaments, so wanted to show you that this is the December issue. Little Stitch Girl, this was a pre-order back at the Needlework Expo in August, so this just came. It's part of the Gift of Giving series, and this is to Santa. Plum Street Samplers has Autumn Cottage. I can't remember, but some of this one, I can't remember. Oh shoot, you know, I do my homework, but then I don't do the video for a while and I forget, but that could have been from a previous retreat or something. Or maybe it's the next one after this. But this is Cardinal Kin from her Animals series, and she actually did it in 2 colorways and she couldn't decide, so she gave you both. And then Grace Doth Abound. Is this the one that was, I don't know. Sometimes she says on the back cover, but that's really pretty. All right, then I have a bunch from the Housewives because, yeah, I think I have 3 months worth from the Housewives. So this is fall in their Adorables series. Let's Go Ride a Bike. We have Turkey Trot, Christmas Lane, and Winter Woods. In the month to month, we have November, December, and January. And then some standalones. Hot Cocoa, this was in the latest release. Ivy Wed was the Ring Bearer's pillow from Chelsea's Wedding. And then With Thy Needle has the Maker and Mender. Let me show it the right way. The Maker and Mender. Rudolph and Friends. You know I'm stitching that one. Come on, Snowman with Reindeer. And Santa Stops Here. And I think this is a tribute to the little stores in the Amana Colony. Is that, do I remember that? It's called Candy House, H-A-U-S. All right, so those are the autos. I may or may not sneak another section of charts in here. We shall see. If not, I hope to see you next week. Boppity boppity boo. Okay. I'm tired.